All right, so ready to jump into this whole molding machine technician thing? Let's do it. We're talking full deep dive here, folks, with RoleCatcher's Career Guide. We've got all the details, the skills, even interview prep, the whole 9 yards.
And get this, we're about to uncover the tech behind it all. This isn't your grandpa's factory, let me tell you.
Ooh, I love surprises. Okay, so no more mysteries laid on me. What do these molding machine technicians actually do, like day to day?
Think of it this way. You've got raw materials, often plastics, but could be other stuff, and these powerful machines, right? They use those machines to shape the materials into, well, almost everything around us. And these technicians, they're the ones making sure those machines hum along, creating the things we use every single day. Precision is key in this job.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture, but what does that look like in action? What kind of machines are we talking about?
Ever wonder how a plastic toy gets its shape? That's injection molding. Or those big hollow water bottles, blow molding. It all comes down to molten materials, molds, and air pressure. A delicate process these technicians master.
Wow, that's way more complex than I imagined. Makes you appreciate the work behind every object, right? From car parts to like medical devices, it all starts with these machines.
You got it. It's the unseen force behind so many industries. And speaking of unseen, let's talk shop literally. We're talking about a manufacturing setting here, so it can be noisy. Might be dealing with fumes, depending on what's being made. And safety, absolutely crucial with those heavy machines around.
So not your average desk job, I got it. But also not your grandpa's factory, right? I mean, with all this talk about automation changing the game.
You hit the nail on the head. That's what makes this field so interesting. It's always evolving with technology. Automation just means new skills to pick up, new challenges, never a dull moment.
That lifelong learning thing gets people excited for sure. But let's say someone's thinking, okay, this sounds kind of cool, but where could it lead? What's the career path look like?
Here's the cool part, you're not stuck. You might start assisting the pros, learning the ropes, getting those routine checks down pat. But then you gain experience, move towards more independence, handling tougher repairs, maybe even leading a team one day.
So room to climb that ladder. Got it. But let's be real, every job has its ups and downs. What are some realities someone should be prepared for in this line of work?
Well, the good news? High demand. Job security is a big plus, and the salary often reflects that. Plus, you're working with your hands, seeing the results. That's a huge plus for a lot of folks. But
It's a dreaded but. What's the catch?
it can be physically demanding, long hours on your feet, maybe some heavy lifting. And gotta be honest, working around industrial equipment means safety is non-negotiable.
Makes sense. Definitely factors to consider. It's that classic trade-off, though, isn't it? The physical aspect, maybe a bit of risk, but also knowing you're building something important.
Exactly. You need a certain resilience, dedication, but the rewards, they're there in the work itself and the paycheck.
Okay, so let's say someone's convinced, ready to apply. What are those essential skills that'll catch an employer's eye? What are they looking for?
Well, RoleCatcher's got it laid out really well, actually. You know those routine checks we talked about? Yeah. Yeah, and being comfortable with all that testing equipment, knowing how to figure things out when they inevitably go wrong, those are the everyday skills that make all the difference.
Right, it's one thing to know the theory, it's another to actually, roll up your sleeves and solve problems in the thick of it.
Exactly. And, when you're walking into that interview, be ready to really showcase that problem solving. Think back to times you had to get creative, maybe even improvise a fix under pressure. Those stories, those real examples, that's gold.
Show, don't tell, right? Which reminds me, those sample interview questions RoleCatcher gives you, those are clutch. Describe a time you had to troubleshoot a complex issue. Classic for a reason. But here's where things get really cool.
They've even got AI-powered feedback on interview skills now. It's pretty wild.
Talk about a personal coach in your pocket, right? Can you imagine getting feedback on how you're speaking, what you're saying, before you even step foot in the interview room? That's next level.
It's all about giving you the tools and confidence you need to crush it, not just in the interview, but to really make this whole career your own.
Speaking of owning it, let's break down this career path a bit more. Let's say you're just starting out. Where's the starting line?
So picture this. Fresh out of training, you're eager to prove yourself, you're raring to go, you're the entry-level molding machine technician, the go-getter, assisting the pros, learning the ropes, shadowing them, really getting to know the ins and outs of the machines and all those routine checks we talked about. You're basically doing an apprenticeship in the world of all things molded. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so hands-on, literally soaking it all up from the veterans. Got it. What's the next step up from there?
So once you've got a good grasp of the basics, you're transitioning into the junior molding machine technician role. Now you're being trusted with more uh, independent tasks, like you're calibrating the machines to doing preventative maintenance. You might even be tackling some basic repairs. You're becoming the point person for those everyday things that come up.
So more responsibility, still learning, putting out fires, maybe even showing some newbies the ropes at this point. What's next on the career ladder?
You got it. You've got experience now. You've successfully navigated some tricky situations. You're becoming the senior molding machine technician. You're not just maintaining things, you're overseeing stuff. You're the one developing schedules, troubleshooting those really tough issues, mentoring the junior team members. You're the go-to when things get
Yeah.
interesting. You know what I mean?
That's impressive. You've gone from newbie to the master of machines, leading the pack. What's left to achieve? Where do you go from there?
Well, for those with a knack for leadership, there's always the lead molding machine technician. You're managing whole teams now, thinking strategically about how to maximize those machines' performance, ensuring safety standards are met, quality's top-notch. It's a high-impact position, that's for sure.
Wow, talk about a journey. From working directly on the machines to leading a whole team. That's quite a progression. And what about those overachievers, always reaching for the top? What's the peak of this mountain?
You're talking about the senior lead molding machine technician. That's where the big picture comes into play. You're talking budgets, performance reviews, putting those continuous improvement plans into action, the whole shebang. It's not just keeping things running, it's shaping the future of the entire operation.
Now, that's impressive. This whole breakdown really highlights how much potential for growth there is in this field. You can start with the basics and really take your career in so many directions.
It's all about always learning, getting better at what you do, and really embracing all those technological advances that are changing the manufacturing world as we know it.
And let's be real, who doesn't want to be ahead of the curve, especially with how fast things are changing? Speaking of which, let's loop back to those AI tools we were talking about, the ones changing the game for job seekers these days.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those are becoming essential.
I'm talking specifically about RoleCatcher here. They've got this amazing thing called, RoleCatcher Copilot AI. It's like a secret weapon.
It's true. And it's not just some gimmick either. This AI actually digs deep into job descriptions. It analyzes your skills and helps you present yourself in the best possible light by highlighting the experience you have that's the most relevant.
Like having a personal branding guru and a career coach all in one, seriously. And we'll be talking all about Copilot AI after, well, you know what? Let's just dive right in. No need to wait.
Let's say you're working on your resume, right? Suddenly, boom, Copilot AI swoops in. It might suggest some power verbs. It might point out skills you forgot to mention. It can even help tailor your experience to perfectly match that job descriptor you've got your eye on. It's wild.
Hey, it gets better. Tell me it helps with those dreaded cover letters, too.
Absolutely. It helps you write cover letters that aren't just those generic things that everyone sends. These are laser focused, showcasing how your skills and your experience directly connect to what that employer is looking for. No more writer's block trying to sound smart and interesting at the same time. It's a game changer.
Music to my ears. And what about the interview prep? We've talked about how important that is.
That's where Copilot AI really shines. Remember those practice interview questions? Well, imagine having this AI listen to your responses, tell you where you can improve, and even suggest stronger answers based on your unique background. That's the power of AI.
Hold on, it's not just giving you generic feedback. It's actually like personalizing suggestions based on your own career path.
That's exactly it. It's like having your own interview coach available 24/7, helping you polish your presentation and what you say until you're brimming with confidence, ready to wow them.
Okay, I see why they call it Copilot. It's like having a trusted guide with you every step of the way. From making that killer application to crushing that interview, it's got you covered.
Exactly. And that's what's so amazing about technology. It's not about taking over. It's about giving you that boost, that edge in today's job market.
And that, my friend, is a wrap on our Molding Machine Technician deep dive.
We've only just scratched the surface.
From the factory floor to high tech, we've really covered a lot of ground, haven't we? Those essential skills, the career path, even how AI is lending a hand in the whole job search. Phew.
And, this is where it really gets interesting, right? Because we've given you the rundown, the tools, but now the question becomes, what's next?
Right.
We've talked about technology changing the game, but what does that actually look like for someone working as a molding machine technician? What does their future hold? What does that future look like?
the million-dollar question for sure. Because as automation keeps getting more, well, sophisticated, those skills that are needed, they'll have to keep evolving too. It won't be just about running the machines anymore. It'll be understanding the tech inside and out, being able to jump in with new systems, maybe even doing some programming or working right alongside robots. Who knows?
So that constant learning we talked about, it just gets amplified, right? It's not even keeping up anymore. It's staying way ahead.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, totally. A little intimidating. Maybe a bit. Yeah.
For sure. And that's what makes this whole deep dive so important. You got that foundation now. You know the job, the path it takes, even the tools to make it happen. You're ahead of the game.
You've got the map. Now go explore, chart your course. And hey, who knows, maybe someday you'll be the one showing the ropes to the next generation of molding machine technicians, navigating a world where it's humans and robots all working together.
Now that's a future worth working for, definitely.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you with this to ponder. As tech keeps reshaping how things are made, what new doors will open up for those who are, well, literally shaping the world around us, one perfectly molded piece at a time? Keep that in mind as you start your own journey. Until next time, happy learning, everyone.